Hey everyone. Briefly, we'll go live. I don't know how many of you on here. Just going over a few things. So I wanted to do a video a day for a while on this channel, which I've been neglecting in favor of my other channel. But I think there's some interesting things going on in the market, and there's always a bull market somewhere. So one of the things we can look at is look for value where other people aren't. So, what do I mean by that? If you turn over enough rocks, you'll find some really interesting value stories some places, and there are places where people aren't looking. And you definitely want to be careful because, when you fish in this area of the pond, there's not a lot of liquidity. So, even if you get into a position, it might be difficult to get out of it. So, you want to get into positions that you would be okay holding for a very long period of time. And along that line, I'll mention this one. And again, this is not a recommendation to buy. It's not a recommendation to sell. It's just me walking through my process. So I'm not telling you how to invest. I'm just showing how I invest. And if that helps you, that's fine. If not, it helps me to get that out there. But here's a company called TableTrack, and it's only $18 million, so you never would want to put in a market order. I put a limit order for this. I think my average price is around $4. And the last time I put a limit order on this, it took like 3 weeks to get a fill on it. So I completely forgot about it. And then all of a sudden, one day I got a fill on it. But if you look at this, um, it's very cheap. So 18 million. But also, if we look at this, 18 million, they have a lot of cash. So, no debt, well, almost no debt. They have 500,000 debt, but almost 7 million in cash. So about a third of their market cap is just in cash. So, trailing PE of 11, but if you figure a third of that is cash, it's really you're paying like 7, right? 7 or 8 PE for this company. And it's a very small company, but it's very niche. So what do they do? They make software for casinos. And I'm not talking about games like a lot of companies that make games for casinos. This makes like management software for the casino itself, and also like rewards for players. And what's interesting about this is that in each state where there is a casino, any piece of equipment, any piece of software that you use has to be approved by the state gaming commission. So these guys have approvals in many states, and they're very popular in Indian casinos. And internationally, you can use whatever you want, but a lot of those casinos also tend to favor U.S. companies because they've sort of been vetted by other people. So this is one that I like, but I would definitely not buy this without using a limit order because it's so illiquid and so small. And as I said, it took me like 3 weeks to get a fill the first time. Who knows how long it'll take for me to sell? Uh, and let's see, pick a different one. Um, this is OPTEX and thing. So they make optical equipment for certain military things like the Bradley fighting vehicle and the howitzer. And it looks like it's pretty cheap now. It's a 9 PE. And this one, just like TableTrack, which I mentioned before, has a lot of insider ownership. And this does not have any debt. So, but it doesn't have a ton of cash either. But, at a 9 PE in a military specialty company, I think that's pretty cheap. And the only problem is that even though they're cutting stuff right and left in the federal government under this administration, they always hate to cut military spending. And so this company should do fine. But, the sort of unknown there is that because they make pieces of equipment that are high tech for uh, the howitzers and the Bradley fighting vehicles and stuff like that, you kind of don't know what you're getting because if there is still a tariff with China and stuff like that, and chips and other things that they have to import. pieces for the thing that might affect it. So, it's sort of an interesting to keep an eye on, though. This one is very interesting. It's down a lot today. I was kind of tempted to buy more, but I'm doing selling these days. I'm not really buying, but I own a little bit of this. And this is a really interesting country. This is a best in breed company that does those simulators for police when they train them how to shoot. Uh, and what's so interesting about that is that, let's see, let's share the screen. VIRTRA. Here we go. Yeah, so what's interesting about this is best in breed. They have these simulators where they use real persons. They're not computer generated people, and they have this facility in Chandler, Arizona, with a green screen, so they can shoot the person wearing the clothes with the knife or with the gun or whatever. And because it's shot in green screen, they can plop that person into a school. They can plop them into a mall shooting. They can plop that into a domestic and just reuse the IP over and over. And it's really interesting because as I said, they use real people and they use like almost 360-degree screens, and that's like the most expensive ones, best in class. Some other people use the VR ones where you put the goggles on your face, and they're not as good. But the police forces that have money, that they're willing to pay for this. And I feel like this company, VirTra, and also the previous company, TableTrac, are probably good acquisition targets. So there's companies like Constellation Software that like to buy up these little niche software companies that don't have competition but are very interesting niches that someone like Microsoft wouldn't be interested in. So I think a company like this or a company like VirTra might be interesting. And VirTra, they also their stock got beat up because there was a military contract that Microsoft had, and VirTra had a piece of it, and it got canceled and picked up by Anduril. But it turns out Anduril will be using VirTra uh, for the contract. So it's not like they lost the contract. Microsoft lost the contract, but VirTra is still getting a piece of it. And the VR stuff is going to be designed by Anduril, and they sort of make these things for the weapons, which make them reciprocate and feel like you're actually shooting. So it's a pretty interesting idea there, and definitely cheap. So uh, and a lot of insider ownership as well on that one. Um, so yeah, 48 million market cap, and then if you back out the cash, you're getting the whole thing for 38 million. So on a trailing PE basis, if you back out the cash, it's pretty cheap. On a forward PE basis, it's even cheaper because they had two CEOs, and one of them had been doing a great job of getting orders in, but not a great job of filling them. And then they brought in the new CEO, and he did a really good job of clearing out the backlog because now instead of taking like 9 months to get your equipment after you order it, it's down to about a week. And he had been focusing on the operational stuff, not the sales end. But now that they have the operational stuff sorted, if he switches gears and goes back to sales end, I think this could inflect a lot. So yeah, not going to do a lot today, but just some ideas for today. Have a great day, everyone.